The guardians arrived at the River of Shadows, a once clear stream now dark and foreboding. The water seemed to swallow the light, and the air was thick with a heavy mist. The river's current was strong, but it was not the water that they feared. It was the spirits that haunted the river, spirits born of doubt, betrayal, and regret. "This is the River of Shadows," Adana explained, her voice solemn. "It is said that those who cross must confront the doubts within themselves. It is the test of trust." The guardians exchanged uneasy glances. They could hear whispers carried on the wind, soft but persistent. Each whisper seemed to call their name, speaking their fears aloud. Ojinma, the warrior, stepped forward first. He gripped his sword tightly, his jaw set. "We will face whatever lies ahead, together." As they waded into the icy water, the whispers grew louder, turning into voices that echoed around them. Ojinma heard accusations of failure, voices mocking his ability to protect his people. He faltered, his steps slowing as shadows swirled around him. "You failed them," a voice hissed. "You cannot save anyone." Adana placed a hand on his arm. "Do not listen. These are lies meant to weaken you. Look at us. We stand with you." Ojinma closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and pushed forward, breaking through the shadowy figures. Amara, the healer, was next to falter. The voices whispered of the lives she couldn't save, the children she left behind. "You abandoned them," a voice accused. "They will perish because of you." Tears welled in her eyes, but Ikin's voice cut through the haze. "Your work has saved countless lives. Focus on what you can do now, not what you couldn't do before." Amara nodded, her resolve strengthening. Together, they made it to the other side of the river, their bond stronger for having faced their fears. The journey continued into the Forest of Hunger, a magical and treacherous place where the trees seemed alive, their twisted branches reaching out as if to grab anyone who ventured too close. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and the ground was littered with rotting fruit. The guardians soon realized that the forest was not just a place of physical danger, it mirrored the suffering caused by the kingdom's division. As they moved deeper, their hunger grew unbearable, and the illusions of bountiful feasts appeared before them. Ikin was the first to speak. "Why should we suffer when the forest offers us food? Surely, it cannot hurt to take a little for ourselves." Adana's voice was firm. "The forest is testing us. If we give in to our hunger, we will never find the shard. We must resist." The group pressed on, ignoring the tempting sights and smells. They reached the heart of the forest, where a massive tree stood, its bark etched with ancient runes. Embedded in the tree's trunk was a shard of the sacred mask, glowing faintly. Ojinma stepped forward to retrieve it, but the tree's roots sprang to life, wrapping around him. The guardians worked together, using their combined strength and skills to free him and retrieve the shard. As soon as the shard was removed, the forest began to wither, its illusions fading. Their next challenge took them to the Mountain of Thunder, a place where the warring kings of the northern and eastern clans had gathered with their armies. The air crackled with electricity, and the skies roared with thunder. The guardians approached cautiously, knowing that their mission would not be easy. Adana stepped forward, addressing the kings. "We come not to fight, but to restore what was broken. The sacred mask must be whole again, for the sake of all Ojinma." The kings, consumed by their anger and pride, refused to listen. A fierce battle erupted, with Ojinma leading the charge to defend the group. Amara worked tirelessly to heal the wounded, while Ikin used his cunning to outmaneuver the enemy. In the chaos, Adana managed to reach the second shard of the mask, hidden in the depths of a cavern beneath the mountain. With the shard in hand, the guardians retreated, their mission far from over. The journey took its toll on the group as they ventured into the Desert of Silence, a vast and desolate expanse where the heat was oppressive and the air eerily still. The desert tested their resolve, each of them battling their inner doubts and fears in the deafening silence. Amara spoke softly, her voice breaking the stillness. "I don't know if we're strong enough to finish this. The weight of it all, it feels too much." Adana placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. We are strong because we are together. The gods chose us for a reason. We cannot give up now. At the edge of the desert, they found the Cave of Memories, a place filled with ancient carvings and murals depicting the history of Ojinma. As they explored the cave, they uncovered the truth about the sacred mask. Adana traced her fingers along a mural, her voice trembling. The mask was not always a symbol of peace. It was once a weapon, used to control the clans. Only when the clans united and chose to work together did it become a symbol of unity. The Guardians realized that the mask's power came not from the gods alone but from the people's willingness to trust and support one another. With the final shard in hand, the Guardians returned to the Great Hall of Wisdom, where the shattered mask awaited them. As they placed the shards together, a dark and malevolent spirit emerged, a manifestation of the greed and distrust that had fractured the kingdom. The Guardians faced the spirit in a climactic battle, combining their strengths to overcome it. Adana's wisdom, Obina's strength, Amara's compassion, and Ikin's cunning worked in harmony, and together, they defeated the spirit, banishing it from Ojinma. The sacred mask was restored, glowing brighter than ever before. The kingdom of Ojinma began to heal, its people inspired by the Guardians' journey and their message of unity. As the sun rose over the kingdom, Adana spoke to the gathered crowd. The mask is whole again, but true unity is not just a symbol. It is a choice we must make every day. Let us build a future where we stand together, stronger than ever. The people cheered, their hearts filled with hope. Ojinma had been saved, not just by the restoration of the sacred mask, but by the lessons learned along the way. The Guardians parted ways, each returning to their lives, but their bond remained unbroken, a testament to the power of unity.